Hello folks, here we are at Niagara Falls, looking right now at the US Falls, and there's the Maid of the Mist down there. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's called the Maid of the Mist anymore, that boat. But anyway, that's the American Falls. And then over here is the Horseshoe Falls, or the so-called Canadian Falls. So we're going to make our way around to the Canadian Falls to get really close to them, within about 3 or 4 meters of it. So we're on a ledge here, you can see this way. We're obviously on the Canadian side. There's a Canadian flag, and the Minolta Tower over there. You see the Minolta Tower is right over here. The Radisson Suites, where we put up our parents for their 30th anniversary. And there's the Skyline Tower. That's been around for a long time. And behind the Skyline Tower is a casino. So again, Canadian Falls and the American Falls. So we're going to make our way around the ledge to get closer to Canadian Falls. And this is the funicular that will take you down to the Maid of the Mist, or whatever it's called now. I guess it's called Niagara City Cruises. There it is there. So I guess they don't unfortunately call it the Maid of the Mist anymore. So, well, that's all for now. And we're going to make our way down towards the Canadian Falls, or the Horseshoe Falls. Okay, so another view of the American Falls as we make our way along the Canadian side towards the Horseshoe, or Canadian Falls. So I found out that the American boats are called Maid of the Mist. It used to be the name for the Canadian ships, but for some reason now the Americans have named their boat Maid of the Mist, but ours are named something else. So it's the American Falls. This island, by the way, is called Goat Island. It is an island. It's called Goat Island. And there's a little bit closer shot of the Canadian Falls. This is actually not a bad angle, because when you get around to that building way right behind that tree, you can only see the fall obviously from above. You're very close, but you can't see sort of what's under. So if I zoom in here, you can see the water just careening underneath. Look how much it's worn away, that rock. Just plumes, huge plumes of steam coming off there. That boat, and I've been on that boat before, that boat is using full power just to stay where it's at. That's how strong the currents are around the Canadian Falls. The Canadian Falls are, of course, most impressive. If you had to go over the falls, you would definitely choose the Canadian Falls. You wouldn't want to go over the American ones with all the rocks there. But again, if you go over the falls, it's a very slim chance you would survive. But people have done it. There was one boy in 1963 that he and his sister unfortunately went over due to a boating accident, and he survived, she didn't. So that's the Canadian Falls. Again, we're going to make our way up there. It's starting to rain, so it's a little bit difficult weather, but actually it's kept the people down. Yesterday there was hordes and hordes of people due to the holiday weekend, but being Tuesday, it's much better. So there's the Canadian Falls, and we'll again keep making our way down towards those buildings where you can see the falls within about a few meters away.